And it's no coincidence that it was in Labaria, in Vlora, in 1912, that Ismail Jamal Bey Vlora defiantly raised a red double eagle flag here from that balcony, ending almost 400 years of Ottoman rule in this area of the Balkans. Today we're going to travel inland to Kërvelesh and look at some wonderful environments there, beautiful scenery, and delve a little bit into the back history that led to this moment of Jamal Bey Vlora raising the flag here in Vlora. Let's go. Travelling up the Shushitsa Valley behind Vlora, we pass numerous monuments to the Second World War, like this one at Drashowitz. So I've stopped here by the roadside on the way up the Shushitsa Valley, and behind me, in those hills underneath the Kërvelesh, which is the plain on top of the mountains, is a very important village called Mesaplikut. Now the Albanians were suppressed by the Ottomans and faced reforms that centralized power and altered their taxation and also changed the conscription methods. And in June 1947, a local man called Zanel Joleka was appointed leader of a meeting there in Mesaplikut. He urged the Albanians to unite regardless of their religious differences. And what I find fascinating about this call and this early awakening of nationalism in Albania to create their own state was that this call predates a poet called Pashko Vasa, who wrote a very important poem called O Albania, Poor Albania. And it was written in the late 1800s. And in this poem, the message was advocating for unity of the Albanians based on a shared ethnicity, as was the meeting here in Mesaplikut, 40 years before Pashko Vasa's poem was penned. So this is an important village in the whole of the bringing together of the people for independence of Albania. Let's move up the valley. During the 1800s, the Ottoman Empire was beginning to unravel. And from this demise, nation states began to form based on religious similarities. Greek Orthodox became Greek, Serb Orthodox became Serbian. However, the Albanians were an anomaly. And to the confusion of the international community, the Albanians wished to form a nation based upon their ethnic and cultural similarities. To this day, Albanians are a mixture of various religious groups: Muslims, Greek Orthodox, Roman Catholics, and Bektashis being the main groups. But these people of these faiths stress that the first religion of Albania is Albanianism, a sentiment that is echoed in Pashko Vasa's poem and also at the meeting here in Mesaplikut. And it's heard frequently to highlight Albanians' renowned religious tolerance. As I leave the valley floor and begin my ascent to the Kërvelesh, I decide to stop in Kuch. It's a great place to have a coffee and take in the views of the valley that I just travelled. It's also the home of Zanel Joleka, the appointed leader of the meeting at Mesaplikut. Zanel Joleka was born here in Kuch in 1805 to a family of carpenters and became a trusted soldier in a local bey's personal army. After his bey, the equivalent of a lord, was murdered by the Ottomans in 1829, Joleka sought revenge and joined forces with another rebellious fighter, Tafil Buzi. Together they launched guerrilla attacks from the mountains around here, in Lower Kurvelesh and also up in the Kurvelesh proper. Buzi was captured, but Joleka continued his resistance, leading the Peasants' Revolt of 1847. Just a few months after the meeting in Mesaplikut, the Ottomans implemented their tax reforms here in the village of KØTU. The peasants revolted, and for 6 months there was battles all across this area, as far as Berat and Gjirokasta. It was difficult for the Ottomans to put down this uprising, as Joleka, who then became the leader of the Peasants' Revolt, quickly hid in the mountains of Kurvelesh, and it was impossible for them to root him out. The fighting and warlike spirit of the Lubs in this area laid the foundations for that flag to be raised in Vlora. Joleka himself was captured, but the Sultan pardoned him because of his bravery, and he returned here to KØTU to live. But being the restless warrior that he was, it wasn't long before he once again picked up the gun